All right, welcome back, guys. We are continuing our running back series. This is the SGPN Fantasy Football Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, and we're presented to you by WynnBET. WynnBET is now live in Arizona, Colorado, Indiana, Louisiana, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Tennessee, and Virginia. From boosted same-game parlays to live in-game odds, WynnBET has what you need to win. Sign up today. You bet $100. You're going to get a $100 free bet at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WynnBET. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET. State restrictions apply. Like I said, this is our running backs. We've gone through our consensus 1, Bijan Robinson, our consensus 2, Jahmyr Gibbs, and our consensus 3 is Zach Evans. Zach Evans comes in at 6 foot, 215 pounds. He's a transfer. He went from TCU to Ole Miss. Last year at Ole Miss, he had 144 carries, got 936 yards, 9 touchdowns, 12 receptions for 119 yards and 1 touchdown. He was ranked as the number 1 recruit in 2020 class, ahead of Bijan Robinson for a lot of the cycle. Brett, let's talk about Zach Evans.
I love this guy. I absolutely love this guy because he makes the first guy miss, or he breaks that first tackle very often. As it's evidenced by his, you go to PFF if you're that kind of guy, you see his yards per contact per attempt, and it's sky high. You look at his forced missed tackle percentage, sky high. He's just got this combination of size, speed, burst, all of these things that really make him a well-rounded running back. He puts all those things together. He creates chunk plays, as evidenced by the fact that he had 32 rushes of 10 or plus yards. And get this, that's ranked 22nd in college football, right? And you say, well, that's not very good, 22nd in college football. But listen, he had the least amount of carries out of those 22 players by 40. The closest person at number 21 had 40 more carries than Zach Evans did. And he had 32 rushes of 10 or plus yards. That's absolutely amazing. And like I said, my 3 big pros for him are the speed, the burst. It's just short area quickness for this dude. He is very good, and you're going to notice it when you see the first player move up to him, right? He gets those big breakaway chunk plays that I was talking about, and he does have really good contact balance as well, like I said, as evidenced by his really good yards per contact yards after contact per attempt. Now, there are some cons here too, right? And you can see it on the screen right now. This dude's got 30 career catches. He does have decent hands. They're not great. He's not going to be an Alvin Kamara and Austin Eckler kind of guy, but he is serviceable in that aspect of the game. He also never could just take command of the job. And that might be my biggest criticism, right? He goes to TCU. He's one of the top recruits in the country, and he splits time with Kendre Miller. And he just can't take the backfield. He says, you know what? I'm going to go to Ole Miss. And he goes to Ole Miss and quite possibly is sharing carries with probably the best running back in the class in a year or two, right? In Judkins. So he just couldn't demand the volume that we want to see out of a high-level prospect like he is. Now, there are some easy comps here when you look at the way that he runs. And when you read things, people are going to talk about, Alvin Kamara in his run style. Not in the way that he catches the ball, but the way that he runs, and he does ooze that. Particularly, there's a game in 2021 against Texas Tech that the whole game just oozes Alvin Kamara when he's running the ball. But I think there's a better comp from that perspective, and that's going to be Melvin Gordon. And it's just the style of running, the fact that he makes guys miss, but he's got good contact balance also, even to fight through that contact if he doesn't make you miss. He just has that upside, I believe, of Melvin Gordon in his early years. Their play style is very similar, in my opinion. And again, like I said, the receiving work is why I just don't feel right saying Alvin Kamara is the comp, because that's going to be the first thing that comes to people's mind is, well, Alvin Kamara had like 100 catches through 2 seasons in Tennessee before he got drafted. And we're talking about a guy who has 30 through 3, right? It just doesn't make sense. So chunk plays, Melvin Gordon, it just makes sense to me. And look, the more I watch tape, the more I like this guy. It is possible for me, and Dave, you may think this is crazy. It's possible for me this guy ends up as the number 2 running back for me over Jahmyr Gibbs because of the rushing upside that I see from him as well.
Now, I think he's number 2 on some boards for some people. And, we don't have pro days. We don't have Senior Bowl, East-West Shrine game, and we don't have the combine to add to this. Typically the combine is not going to completely sway things for me, but, we have seen, Kyron Williams type of pro days that you have to evaluate. Dalvin Cook's pro day sucked, and he turned out to be a pretty dang good back. So you can't just completely throw things out, but I will use it for tier breakers, and they call it cluster busters on Move the Sticks. When you got guys like Gibbs and Evans that are on the similar playing fields, and you see them together. And one thing I got to do last year was be at the combine. And what I really like at the combine, especially the running backs, they always go on the running back days, you see them outside of pads next to each other. So there's none of this Big 12, SEC, Big 10, none of that. They're just, and they have random numbers based on their alphabetical order. So you halftime don't even know who they are. And I'm like, yeah, that guy knows how to catch the ball. That guy knows how to run routes. That guy doesn't. Yeah. That quarterback sucks. You can see a lot of stuff there at the combine. And I love being able to see. And last year I was there. After the combine, I talked to Angelo and said, yo, this Pacheco guy, he's really good. And Ken Walker, yeah, he's a real deal. I'm not worried about the pass catching at all. And so you got to see that. Plus, I got to see Tyler Algier, and I was like, holy crap, is that a linebacker or a running back? They're like, oh, he used to play linebacker. I'm like, yeah, it makes sense. He's got Dwight Howard-like shoulders. And, Javonte Williams was linebacker converted as well. So, but you get to see those things. So I'll be at the combine again this year in Indianapolis. And, I can't wait to see Zach Evans and Jahmyr Gibbs. And they're 2A and 2B for me, to be honest.
Yep.
All right. Well, thanks for tuning in on this episode. Again, check out the rest of our running backs and our quarterbacks. We'll be doing this all season. So make sure you guys subscribe, give us a like, and comment. Let us know your player comp. Let us know if we are too high, too low. And as always, good luck this season.